Okay, so now let's do the plans and the cross sections, okay? So what I just did is I just opened this file. It's an empty file from a seed. As you remember, I told y'all I'm just going to do it in a different file, and the cross section in a different file. So for plans, what we're going to need is, well, first of all, my advice to you, what you're going to need first before anything else, go get you a sample, which let me find that. Okay, I found the sample, so let me bring it here. So whatever state you are working in, always get you a sample. Let me tell you why. I mean, number one, it depends on your state, right? And it depends which you need to convey in the plan. So this is two example. This example, we have the pond view, the plan view, and the typicals we are made in from cross sections in the same PDF, in the same sheet. And then we have another example where you have one, it's in a different PDF, and then the other one, because we have multiple cross sections here, in a different one. So it's always important to just, if somebody assign you to do something, ask them, please give me a PDF that's already done and you are approved. Why? Because EUR have preferences. And I kid you not, some people will just tell you, I don't want this to be this tick, this line, this label, this, that, da, 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 da. So it's always to talk to them and ask them, please show me what you have so you can mimic it and do it, right? Because at the end of the day, making these plans, it's all a preference of the person who's going to sign them and seal them. So if they like them in a certain way, you need to make them in a certain way. Period. Okay, so these are examples. So right now, I'm just going to do the plan, which is, like I said, this is what we're going to need to add. So let's go to references. So I'm going to add my 2D work, which is in your case, you can add the same one that have the ponds in it, and whatever the UR might want you to do, because they have some other files for drainage they might want you to add, right? Not just the pond itself. Meaning, they will want the survey, they don't want the roadway, they want the alignment, they want existing drainage. They have a lot of things. So this is why asking them for a reference, it's important, just so you know what you need to add, right? So I'm just gonna make this nice and easy. I'm just gonna add few things, not everything, just few things. So please don't take this as an example. This is more as to show you the CAD side of things and how to do it. So let's go add a survey, or as we call it, the topo. And by the way, most of the time, they already will have like a pond container for you, so you don't have to be adding things. They already have everything added. And then let's go to the roadway. Let's add the alignments. I don't think we have that, so let's add the roadways. And I think we are good to go. So let's do OK and give it a second. I'm not selecting the scale yet, but that's something we can change later, because this is an important part of it. Because if it's a big pond, you need to fit it into one screen, right? So let's do fit screen. Here we go. And let's go to where we are. And then let's start changing things. So the topo didn't come in because this topo that we have is unique. It's going to need a liveness thing as only to 1. Please don't be adding 20, 30, 40. That's not good. So only this to 1. And then after that, we have the roadway and so on and so forth, and the alignments. Okay. So the first thing I would like to say here, because I see a lot of people, they don't do. Let's go back to references, and then let's go back to properties here. You see sequence? This is important. Let me tell you why. Think of this, what you want to pop in your screen. Meaning, what you want to pop in your PDF. For example, here. What's the main story here? What's the main story for this stormwater facility? We want the ponds to be up top. Meaning, the levels of the survey need to be in the back, right? The roadway need to be secondary. The alignment need to be secondary. We want the pond to be the top one. So, if you go actually to references, and then go update sequence, As you see here right now, you see this? It looks like it's on top of the pond. But how to make sure if it's not or it is, first of all, let's get my, where's my 2D? My 2D is the 0, 0, which is this one. So this is flipped. Anything is going to be here is going to be on top. Anything is going to be in the end, or is number 1, is going to be in the back. So this is my pawn. What I'm going to do is I'm going to push it here to the front. And then after that, I want my alignments. I always recommend the alignments to put them as secondary to whatever the main event. And then we do the roadway. And then we do the survey or the topo. The topo, leave it at the end. And you're going to see how this is going to flip when I'm doing that. The last thing is, you see this thing here? This is actually the same file itself. Meaning, if I also draw stuff here, should I make them in the back or make them in the front? Yeah, what's the answer? Of course I want them in the front. So after you do your order that you want it to be, as you can see here, I want my pawn 2D to be on the top, and then secondary is the alignments, and then the design and the topo. Let's go to this one and let's push it to the top. Back again. And this is a good order. So now let's do OK. I don't know if you saw it or not. It was just a nice switch here, but these now actually have priority on top of everything else. And this, I don't know if you can see it or not, they are on top of everything else, and the survey is in the bottom. The survey is not crossing the green line. You can see the green line. Okay, so that's what we need to do. So the other thing is, let's cut the sheet. And before we cut the sheet, let's do some importing step. Unfortunately, because here we don't have alignments, so we need to create our own, like an imaginary alignment. So I will also say rotate the screen how you want it to be, because that's how you're going to center it in the PDF. And then after that, go to your levels and just get you a construction line or non-plotting line. And draw a line. Like seriously, just draw a line. And this line is going to be like your center of the page. And draw it from left to right. Okay. Then after that, go to draw and production, and then go to names boundary. We still haven't changed the scale. I don't want to change it till we see what we got, right? And then click on name boundary. And then give it a second. It's taking its sweet, sweet time. And of course, it's ORD, as you all know. Sometimes it just freezes for no reason. Okay, so we got the name boundary. And then let's go to the first option here. This is for the plan one. And then select your draw and seed. So I want this to be like 11, 17. I mean, like I said, this is why you need from the beginning, which you know, because you need to know, because they are the 24, 36, 36, whatever. There are a lot of them. But we do it just 11, 17, so let's click on it. I'm going to leave the scale as 50 because I want to see something. Then come here, it's telling you here, identify the path for creating the name boundary. So I'm going to come here, but I'm not going to get close. I'm just going to be a little bit further here and click on it. You see this line? This is the line of the beginning of the sheet. You see, if I did this, it make the box for me. So looking at this, is this going to be good? I don't think so. So 50 is not good. So let's go to 60. Also 60 is not good. Let's go to 100. Okay, 100 seems like it's better. 100 is covering everything, right? So let's escape again. Let's do that again. And then I'm going to change, first of all, the scale of the default model, everything to 100. And then I'm going to come again to the path. Say start from here, and here we go. And now we got it as 100. and then just click in the middle and leave these on create drawing and show dialog, because we want to create a drawing model and a sheet model. So click here and then click again, accept, and then you get this. So this window is important. Don't be clicking so fast here. First thing is, this is by default will always go back to 50. Even I already told it it's 100 here. I already told it it's 100 here. This window will always go back to 50. So let's go back to 100. And then the detail scale also I want it to be 100. And the sheet I want it to be new, and the sheet scale is always 1:1. So just remember this. This scale match this scale. If it's 100 in a drawing model, it's 100 for the detail. And then for the annotation, you can select whatever your workspace have. In Florida, we have plan annotation, which is basically just going to add the arrow. And then after that, everything looks good. 100, 100. Perfect. So now let's just do OK. While leaving open model so you can open model. If I inject it, it's not going to open the model. I have to open it by myself. So let's just do OK. As you can see here, it's going through the process. It's going to make one for us. And ta-da! Here we go. It already made it for us. Perfect. And when you see that, you see this is already 1:1. It's a glitch, but don't worry about it. We can fix that. Let's see what models has been made for us, right? Where's my models at? I mean, you can check them here. You see, you have the sheet and the drawing model. Let's go to the drawing model. So this is the drawing model. The drawing model, it will be 100, like the default model. But the sheet always will be 1:1. Period. That's it. So let's go back again to default. And let's get my models. Let's go back home. Let's get my models. Where are my models at? So my advice here, please, like rename this. Don't leave it like that. Don't leave it like unnamed. I mean, you could have done that while I'm creating, but you can do that later. So let's do pond 131 B and then enter. And then for the sheet one, we can also rename and leave the sheet pond 131 B and then enter. And you can see here the logos are different. The default look like this with this logo. The drawing model look like this. The sheet always have this paper and then have like a tiny box here to show the border. So that's how you know the models. So let's go to the pond, the drawing model of the pond. And then let's go to the sheet. So this is the sheet. Okay, so now let's do a few annotations, a few labels, because I'm thinking this video is not going to be more about labels, because that's a whole topic, will be separately, and it's different per workspace to workspace. So I'm just going to try to do some of the easy things, right? As you see, the alignments that we have here, all these are alignment. Let me go to references and turn off roadway and just leave the alignment. Turn off the topo, turn off everything. And even turn off the 2D bond. Okay, so let's just leave the alignment. By the way, don't worry about these. Whoever is in charge of these alignment, they love themselves construction lines, non-plotting. That's why they have these. These for them. I mean, it doesn't matter. You can hold, right click, and then level them off. They're not going to appear in printing anyway, period. Even this one, you can take it off if you don't want, but I already have it active here. So let's go to another one so I can turn it off. Okay. So as we can see right now, for this sheet that we did, we're only going to have this alignment, this alignment, this alignment. So there are multiple ways to do it. You can annotate it in default or annotate it in a drawing. It's up to you. How to annotate it is by going to drawing model, drawing production, and then annotate element, and then select annotation, and then click on the element. So I'm not going to do it in the default. I want to do it in the drawing model. Okay. So let's go to annotate element, and then let's unselect this. By default, it's just going to be like this, right? And then it's going to ask you to select the element. So I'm locating this, and then reset, and then ta-da. You see, it annotated it for me. And then let's do the rest. reset, and then he annotated for me. And then let's do the other ones. Is this one? He annotated for me. So when I asked you for, when I told at the beginning, you need to have a reference, this is why. Because, so all these information, the curve data, the PC, PT, these are not important for this type of sheet. At the end of the day, what we need is we just need to show the alignment and the name of the alignment and our pond. So the construction people, they know exactly what to use. So they don't care as much for these are more for the roadway. So my advice is just delete them, or check with your EOR if your EOR want them to be in a pond. But for this example, I'm just going to take them out. I'm going to take anything else. I'm just going to leave the ticks. The ticks, the ticks, the ticks. This is the sheet numbers, right? And I recommend you to delete them, not turn them off, because we don't want them. We can leave that there. Okay, so that's it. So let's go back again to default. As you can see, there are nothing here, right? Because I annotated where? In a drawing model. But let's just turn off my other stuff, because we need the other stuff to be on, right? Here we go. Now we got them. So now what's the next step? Next step is get your civil labeler and start labeling. For this video, I'm not going to do that because this needs its own session, because there are a lot of information here, and there are a lot of options, and there are a lot of also aesthetic choices that you can do. How to label, how to make stuff happen. So I'm just going to do one of them, right? Or just simple things. Okay. Let's go, for example, station offset. Well, you know what? I'm not even going to use this. I'm going to do something else. I'm just going to name the alignments. We can go to the classic one here, place a label. And this is unique to FDUT because what you're going to see here might not be in your workspace. These, the favorite pre-saved labels, they might not be. They're going to be different in your workspace. So if you're not in Florida. So I'm going to go to PL, which is plan. And then I want to find feature name. And then for the style, just pick whatever you want and need. Let's go FDUT note line for now. And then let's start labeling the alignments, right? So I want to label this one. You can see it's telling you to select the data. So I'm going to click on this one. And then click on it again. Okay. So where did it get this from? It got this from here. When the people who made the alignment, they already have a feature definition. They already have a feature definition that have the same name. And you see that's the name. That's the name that this tool picked up. So it's because the baseline, which you need to do, my friend, double click on it. And then let's go here. Move the mouse to the back. And then click on this. And then let's do a baseline. Simple, because I know the EORs like to see that. Ta-da! Here we go. And so on and so forth. Let's go back to the sheet. And that's your sheet create in a nutshell. So now we're going to jump into cross sections. And like I said at the beginning of this whole thing, because of how FDUT have stuff here, some people just make the cross sections here to make the typicals. And it's perfectly fine. But for me, I'm not doing that. I'm just going to another file, which is we're going to go together. I'm going to save this one. And let's go to file. And let's go to my cross section files. Okay, we are in a file. So now, because we're going to do cross sections, our reference is actually going to be different. We're going to need the 3D models, the roadway and the ponds. So let's add the 3D. And then let's also get the surface, because all that will appear in the cross sections. Like I showed here, you see we're going to need the roadway, we're going to need the surface, and we're going to need the pond that we modeled. So let's go to survey, and then let's go, where is GTTM? So existing ground, let's add that. And then let's go to roadway. And let's add their 3D models, right? I mean, I'm just adding everything for now. Okay, and let's do okay. Let's fit view. So first thing we need to do is let's activate the surface so we can create a 3D model, or if y'all remember in part 1 of the pond modeling, I said we can do this. We can just draw any line and then go to the element and give it a constant elevation. It can be just one, it doesn't matter. So click on it, and then reset, and then click again. And then here we go. It created a 3D model for us too. Here we go. But I don't want it to show it like that. I want to do this so I can show both of them side to side. And this is the 3D thing that we just made. So let's shut this down. And now, first thing we need to do, we need to activate the surface so it can appear in the cross sections. Okay, so this is our pond model. So now, this is again going to be what your EOR want. All of them are different. Some of them wanted to look crossed like this. Some of them wanted to cross like this. It depends. It depends on the situation. So this is not right or wrong. This is just what the EOR want. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a few of them just so you can show you all how. Note, non-plotting, lines, and then let's do drawing. So the first thing first here, you need to be 90 degrees per. First of all, let me turn off all these. Actually, I don't need them. I'm just going to hold right click, level off. I'm going to turn off all these ticks for the corridors, right? Because we don't need them. And all these extra things I don't need. And I know my roadway is here, so I don't even need to see it. Okay, so let's go place a line. So, for example, I'm just going to cut one here. But they always want it to be 90 degrees like this. So select a line, and then let's do snap 90 degree, and then let's just go up like this. So okay, so this is the first piece of it. And they usually also, like I said, they wanted to extend a little bit. And here it's already going to be extending here. However, that's not how they do it. Then they want it also to be this here. Because, for example, they want something here that is horizontal. Okay, this is maybe not a good example, but usually, for example, if you're going to cut it, go to the 90 degree here, the 90 degree here. So you rotate the screen. So let's draw another line here. I'm just gonna imaginary make a 90 degree here. And then let's rotate this on it. Here we go. And then now, let's draw 90-degree. It could be even the road, right? And then just do it like this. And then let's extend this a little bit because we wanted to show the roadway model. And then let's just make these meet like this. Boop, boop. So now we made our first, for example, cross section. And again, like I said, it depends on what the EUR want, right? We can do 2, 3, whatever you want. So for this example, I'm just gonna do 1. Okay, then let's go to draw and production, and then let's go to name boundary. So this is the average tool to do cross sections, which is if I selected this, it will do them like this per alignment, but that's not what we want. We want actually the cross sections to follow this line that I did non-plotting. So to do that, you need to go here to this cross section by 2 points. And then for the drawing seed, select 1117, because that's what we're doing. And then click on your point, click on your line, and then start from the start. So this is the start, and I want it to end here. I'll switch the snap to here so we can go here. I'm gonna uncheck this for now. I don't want it to create the drawing. I just wanted to do this first. And then click, click, click. Give it a second. Here we go. It made it. Let me rotate this so you can see it in the 3D view too. Here we go. It has been made. Then now let's do the other one, right? The same thing, and then select yours, and then come here, and then go till here, and then click, click, click. And it made it. Then after that, come here to the name boundaries and click on this extra option button and try to find them here. First time you're going to open this, you're not going to find them. This is an ORD glitch. Close it and then open it again. Then magically they can appear. So cross-section group. I made 2 group because when I was making these, I just kept clicking without paying attention. So it did made me 2 groups. Maybe this is not the most efficient, hygienic way of doing things. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to delete them so I can redo them again. Just show you all what to focus on. So again, let's go back there. And then let's click on this one. And as you know, you already have the group name here. But for example, let's call this pond. (131B). And if this section gonna be section AA or section BB, as we can see here, you see this is AA section, BB section. So what I'm gonna do is, that's the name of the group, right? So let's make this. And in the description, I can actually type A1, for example. Okay, now it made it. So now let's do another one. Close it and open it again. But this time, I don't want to do a new group. I want it to go to the same group. And then let's click on a line. Yeah, you can start from here, you can start from here. That's okay. Later on, we can flip them. So let me escape and do that again. Okay, and here we go. Now we have them. So now let's go to name boundary. And let's see what we got here. As you can see, now we have them in one group. And they're described as A1 because that's the section is going to be AA. And we have this one. If I clicked on it, you will highlight it here in pink. If I clicked on it, you will highlight the other one. So this is what we're going to do. Select this and select this. These mean annotate and these mean drawing model, creation, dialog. So, and then after that, come here and do them. You have to do them one by one. select the first one, give it a second, it's thinking, and then it's going to give us this window. So for this window, as you can see here, we have 120, 120. That's okay. That's the average default cross-section thing. When it comes to annotation, it's going to annotate it anyway. Or if you don't want it to annotate it, to keep it as none. But I want it to be annotated, just so I can show you how to delete the annotation. And then, like I said, if this is 120, this is going to be 120, and then a new sheet, and then 1-to-1, open a model, or you can say not open the model, so we can open it ourselves. So let's do OK. And give it a second. Okay, so now we made it. Now if I go to my models, you see here, I already have the drawing model. For this pond, as you can see, piece of it, half of it, see that? And let's go to my sheet. So as you can see, it did not fit my sheet, right? But that's okay. That's when you have to go back and forward and try to make sure the one that is actually going to fit 1117. And of course, because I picked a hard one, we're going to have to do some modification here. But let's go back. By the way, you can click on these green arrows here so it can take you back to the views, which is I wanted to take me straight back here. So let's create another one first. Then I can show you what can we do. So let's go to the second one, and then right click, create. Okay, and then after that, what we're going to do here is I don't want it to create a new sheet. I want this one to go to the other sheet too, the same one. But it doesn't matter. The second one, it doesn't matter because anyway, we're just going to have to reference it again anyway. So what I'm going to do is for the second one, I'm not going to create a sheet at all. So I'm going to turn that off. So I just wanted to create a drawing model for me. And also we could have done that, and you can create the drawing models here, and then you can go to the other file and go reference them there. So you can also reference different models in different files. So right now, as you can see, we have two models. We have this one, first one is made, and then we have the second one that was made. So now is the magic thing, or the extra work that you need to do. First thing first, as you know, it's a cross section, but of course that's not what we want. That's not what the UR show us want. They want this. So to do this, you go to annotation drawing and just click on remove. So you can remove all these annotations. Ta-da! And then let's go to the other one. And let's do remove. Boop, and you remove the annotations. And as you see, I mean, you know, this is because the pond that I picked, it's not that good. So now you have these two models here and then here, but we don't want them to be half and half. We want just a perfect one to be here. So how are we going to do that? Let me go back to here. This is the sheet model. Let me open references. I'm just going to delete this out of here. I don't want it here because I'm going to bring a one that already have both of them. So how to do that? As you see, this is a section, a name boundary straight up from where? From the model, right? This is live from the model. And if even I go to the other one, live from the model. So the roadway will change their stuff later. It will update this. So what can we do is we can just pick one of these views, one of these sections, the top one or the bottom one, and then bring the other one here. So I'm going to pick the second one, and then let's go to references, and let's go to attach. And reference the same file that you are in. But here in the models, we need to select the other one. So I'm already inside this one, but I want this one to come now inside this one. So I'm just going to select it. And let's just do OK. I'm going to leave everything as it is. We can change that later. Give it a second. And then let's go to references again, and let's see what we got here. So I see it here, but I don't see it anywhere. So let's do fit screen. I still don't see it. So that's mean there are something I need to fix. So let's go to the original one that's already here, right? So let's see what ORD did actually when it brought it here. Okay, so this is what I was missing. I need to do live nesting and make it 99 so we can bring everything. So let's go to the other one and see what I have here. As you see, it's live nesting 0. So let's do live nesting, and then let's do 99. Ta-da! Here we go. Now it brought it. So now, as you know, here we have these tools. Hold right click, the move tools. These tools are not going to work for these. These tools are not going to work for the name boundaries. The name boundaries can be moved from here. So you can come here, you click on the reference, and then go to the move reference, and then, for example, go this. You see, you can move it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come here to where this is and put this one here. Ta-da! Here we go. See? Now we got what we need, right? So now let's go to the sheet. And again, I'm going to reference the same file. But this time I'm going to select the second one because I know the second one is the one that I have both of them in it. And then also do live nesting, 99. Here we go. Now you see it brought them for me as one piece, right? So this is where what changes need to happen you can do, which is, I'm going to actually scale it here. So let's go to scale reference. And then instead of a scale factor, which we can do, and we can see what it is, let's do minus 0.5 and see what it's going to do. It's actually not going to work. And I don't like the scale factor. I actually like it by point. So if I clicked on by point, what I do is I go to the corners. So I click on this corner, and then I go to this corner, and then I try to make it get smaller proportionally, right? And then let's move it here and see if it's gonna fit. Okay, obviously it doesn't fit, but I already made it small. So in a situation like this, what does the UR gonna tell you to? Just ignore all this, and we do that zigzag line, which is connecting these two, right? Which we can do, right? But I just want you to see that there are options to scale. So what I'm gonna do right now, I'm just gonna go back to how it was. I'll leave it like that for now. So now let's go to where we were. Okay, so now before I start doing that thing, what I'm gonna do is, you might be lucky and also have like a small one that's already gonna fit. So your job is gonna be good here. It's already gonna fit in your sheet. But if it's not, before I start manipulating these, I want you to know about something. These models can be flipped, meaning, you see this one here, mirror? You can mirror it horizontally or vertically. You see the right will become right, left, and the left become right. So if I flipped it, you see it flipped this one, and then the other one I want to flip it to be the, don't freak out when you see this. It's just ORD being crazy. Here we go. As you see, I flipped them, right? So that can happen. If the UR came to you and told you, oh, flip them, I want this to be here and this to be here, actually you can do that. It's not that hard. So let me click on this one. Let's bring it here. Okay, because this is a unique situation that we have here, I'm going to need to drop the cross sections. So, and again, you only need to do this if it's you are in a situation like this. But before you do that, let's copy them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the first one, and let's do a copy. So I'm going to copy it and put it here. And then let's copy the other one. And for some reason, when this got copied, it did not copy right. Okay, let's just do okay. Oh, I know why, because it's in its sheet. Oh god, it's in drawing model. Let me try to do it again. Yeah, it's still gonna have that messed up. Okay, that's okay. So in that case, and let me tell you why I wanted to copy. I wanted to copy just so you can like keep them as reference, meaning reference window from the 3D model. So in case update happen, you can update. But in this case, we don't need that. We can just go straight up to dropping them. Meaning, what I'm about to do right now, it will disconnect them from the 3D views and just have them here as a solid lines, as just dummy lines. So only do this if you know you are done, you are good, there are no more updates, the roadway already fixed their stuff, and you are good to go. Or the roadway already know they're gonna fix their stuff, so you can manually move this. Because again, these technically, they are cross-section, but they are not cross-sections, they are section typicals of how the pond should look like. So because of that, and again, for this unique scenario, which is as you see how tall it is, how wide it is, we have to do that. So you right click on it and you do merge into master. And then you see, let's select these both, and then just click one time, and as you can see here, it disappeared from here. And look what happened. It's already just a line here. And then let's go to the other one, right click on it, let's do merge into master. And it disappeared from here. That's it. So now there are no more connection to your, like I said, no more connection to your 3D model. So the first thing I would like y'all to do is, let's draw a line, just so you know where it's centered, right? Where was it? Which is somewhere here. We could have drawn that before we dropped it, but here we go. So what I'm gonna do right now is, well, first of all, there's an extra line here, which as you can see it behind this is the surface. I'm just gonna delete it. But what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna select this. I can do it here or I can do it in the sheet model. So let's go do it in the sheet model. Let's go to the sheet model. And then let's bring this one here. And just to make it centered. Okay, so now what we need to do, we need to fit this one here and then fit this one here. So how are we gonna do that? From here. By right clicking on it and activating it. So right now it is active. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna select all this, the right side, and then Control G in my keyboard. So right now all of it is as what? As a group. And then let's move it. Let's move it as much as we can. If they are still insist when it's show everything. So that's the first side. The second side, I'm selecting it again. I'm gonna group it. And then let's move it. Keep moving it, keep moving it, keep moving it. Here we go. Okay. I know, now this look weird, just bear with me. So what we're gonna do right now is, let's drop this one and that one. So let's go to the drop tool, and then let's drop this one. So now we know this one is going like this, but all this stuff are what extra things. So what we can do is we can break them, use element, break element, and then pop, just go till here. And then this one also break it and just go till here. And then the same thing for the ground. Again, break the element. Oh, I'm sorry, not this one. It's from here to here, and then from here to here, and then from here to here. And now we can modify this like this, and if the road already told us that's what they're gonna do, instead of waiting on them, we can just do it. And then I know the EUR will say let's fix the ground, meaning let's just make them meet. And then let's break this too. And again, anything that I'm showing y'all here is because this unique situation. This is a not an easy one, but I wanted to do it and show it here in a webinar because I have a lot of tricks that I want y'all to see. So deactivate now. Okay, so now we got it here, right? So now what we can do is we can scale it back, making it more smaller if we want. So let's go back here to scale. Scale reference. Like I said, from here to here. And then let's move it, for example, to the middle, to the bottom, if you're going to have like multiple ones, right? So now we have this. So what we're going to do is right now, let's go back to where they are coming from. Not this one, to the second one. Here we go. So all the changes I already did there, they're already here, right? Let's just clean up this stuff. So in this line is going to be your zigzag line. Again, it depends what the EUR want to do, which is I think they will want it to be, for example, here in the middle. So I'm just gonna draw this. Don't judge my drawing because it's not that accurate. And if there are other ways of doing this, my apology. This is what I'm doing right now. Boop. This one can be better, I know. Okay, so let's, for example, let's just leave it like that. And then select all of them, then Control G. And now let's delete this. So now let's go back to the sheet and see how it looks. Here we go. It's perfect. So now your next task to be to come here and start doing the annotations. As we can see here, all these annotation can be done. We have labels for elevations, we have slopes, we have ones for the sod and all that. All this is going to be an extra work to be added, which is, it's not going to be a part of this session, but that's what you need to do. And with that, we are done. So let's get my sheet here and it's good. So let's just save and close and till the next one.